picking that song. Yeah, it's a great song. I mean, Newsboys is my favorite band, so any song by them is a good song. But I think it's a very appropriate song for the time of the year that we're coming into now, Easter, because this is the time when Jesus died for us. I mean, everybody's heard that no greater love is a man shown for another man than to lay his life down for him. But also, when you take on the sins of the world, and I don't think any one of us can imagine what an ugly situation that is, but to do it for us. And in today's lesson, I'm hoping that some of these messages will come through. So I pray that you guys, I'm going to be brief and to the point, and I hope that you guys get something out of it, because the thing we want to remember here, the reason we do all this is so that you guys, as you walk your daily life, you make the good choices, you remember God, you make the decisions that are going to get you far in life, not the ones that are going to bring you down. So we're trying to teach about what's happening in the world day in and day out, whether you're a Christian or not. And today's theme is betrayal, and I think that's everywhere. Okay? Now, betrayal. According to the dictionary, I picked out 3 definitions. One of them is to expose information to the enemy, such as Benedict Arnold. Probably, one of those famous ones. Another one is to reveal unwillingly or unknowingly. A lot of times we betray people without knowing it, without realizing it. And that's a situation in itself that we have to deal with. And then the last definition is unfaithful in guarding, trusting, or in disclosing items of trust. So the recurring theme here is people are trusting you. People are placing their trust in you, or you're placing their trust in other people. And that's when betrayal comes into the picture. Okay? Today, now betrayal. Betrayal has many forms. How many people, help me out here. What are some of the forms of betrayal you guys can think of?
Somebody telling your secret to somebody else.
Exactly.
Unintentional betrayal, like you said, where you don't need to betray them.
Where you hurt their feelings without knowing?
Yeah.
Okay. What else?
Someone saying they'd cover your shift at work and they didn't.
There you go. That's it. I guess that one comes from personal experience. Okay. What about backstabbing? Yeah. Say it louder.
Someone like talking bad about you but acting nice in your face.
There you go. Great example. Does that ever happen? Yeah, once in a while, right?
I have one.
Yes, please.
When someone steals your cat's love.
There you go.
He likes my bed better. What do you want from me?
So you entrusted him with watching your cat and he stole it from you.
He stole it. He stole my cat.
Could have been worse than your girlfriend. There's a form of betrayal right here, right?
That too.
Well, here's some of the forms. Gossip, lying, false witnesses, leading somebody on. Here's a good one for teenagers. Leading somebody on. You know, if somebody likes you and you know they like you and you pretend to like it but you really don't and you know that the feelings are not the same. Okay? Does that ever happen? No, never. Okay. All right. Setting somebody up for failure. I think somebody already mentioned that one. Okay? Blaming others for something you've done. Those are all forms of betrayal. Now, whether you are, when it comes to betrayal, it's one of 2 things. You either betray someone or someone betrays you, and usually it's some combination of the 2. Okay? So what we're going to learn tonight is how to deal with each one of those 2 cases, and we're going to look at the example of 2 men. 2 men that lived in Palestine. One was named Shimon. Shimon. The other one was named Yehuda. There you go. Jewish names. Both of these men betrayed Jesus. Both of these men betrayed Jesus in different forms and with different consequences, and we're going to get into the whys of all that. Okay? Now, both men lived in. Now, we want to picture back at what was it like at this time? What was going on in their world? Okay, they lived in a land called Palestine. Anybody ever hear of Palestine? No. Okay, good. All right. Now, Palestine is a very unique place on this earth for both geographic and at the time of Jesus for political reasons. Even in today's world, Palestine has very different political positions. But Palestine is a land bridge between Syria and Egypt. On one side, you have an ocean that you can't do much except navigate, and on the other side, you've got a desert that'll kill you. So Palestine, now at the time of Jesus, Palestine enjoyed a semi-autonomous rule, and the only reason the Romans let them get away with it, because they wanted to pit the Syrians against the Egyptians. And Palestine was right in the middle, and it served their purpose. So, and at the time of Jesus, the Jews enjoyed a lot of freedom of choices in their political matters, definitely in their religious matters. In fact, Palestine was ruled by Pharisees and scribes. And these folks, if they thought you were unfaithful, they'd stone you at a moment's notice. They'd stone you to death.
Oh, that's just
Yeah. And certainly Jesus claiming to be the Messiah, the Son of God, that was definitely grounds for stoning. Okay. Okay, so now, of these two men that I'm talking about, one was a Galilean. About the other one, we don't really know where he's from, but we assume he's from Jerusalem. And another thing that was happening at this time, there was a lot of distrust. Nobody trusted anybody. Everybody was out for themselves. You would turn in loved ones. You would betray anybody for the sake of you surviving. There was a lot of poverty. There was a lot of political strife. There was constant revolutions. So in this environment of all this stuff going on is where these two men lived and where Jesus stepped into the picture. You know, obviously at troubled times. Okay? The first guy, okay. Anybody here bring a Bible? Oh!
I did, Jens.
Does anybody want to help me out by reading from the Bible? Ah!
I got you. What do you want?
Okay. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go take a look at a day in the life of these two men. Shimon, who later we knew was Simon Peter, and Yehuda, which is Judas. Now there are two Judases mentioned in the New Testament. One was the brother of Jesus, not the betrayer, and the other was Judas Iscariot. Hope I said that right. Iscariot. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start, we're getting geared toward Easter, so we're going to prepare for the events of the day that we're having prior to Easter. So if I can get a volunteer to just read from the book of Matthew. We're going to go through the book of Matthew. I narrowed it down to that. And in chapter 26, verses 6 through 9. Anybody want to volunteer for that?
I got it.
Okay.
Matthew
Chapter
26.
26, verses 6 through 9.
Verses 9. Ready?
Yes.
Jesus anointed at Bethany. While Jesus was in Bethany, in the home of a man known as Simon the leper, a woman came to him with an alabaster jar of very expensive perfume, which she poured on his head as he was reclining at the table. When the disciples saw this, they were indignant. "Why this waste?" they asked. "This perfume could have been sold at a high price and the money given to the poor."
Okay. The key word in that phrase, I think, is indignant. They were really upset about this. Now, as I did a little research into this whole subject, the whole reason was because some people felt that money could be used for the poor. But one of the guys that may have been particularly upset about this whole thing was the